Everyone in Lekki knew Tunde and Amaka, the couple who seemed to have it all. They were the kind of people that made love look effortless, like something that came with fine wine and weekend getaways. Their pictures often popped up on lifestyle blogs, Amaka in her golden midi dress, Tunde in a tailored kaftan that hugged his broad shoulders. Their chemistry looked like a fairy tale framed in modern aesthetics. Lagos traffic couldn't touch their peace, also everyone thought. Tunde was the co-founder of a fast-rising tech startup, CodeHub, a company that had just secured a multi-million naira investment from a South African firm. He was the calm one, measured, rarely spoke above a whisper, even when angry. People said he was the kind of man who could charm a boardroom and still carry jollof and chicken to his staff on Fridays. Amaka, on the other hand, was vibrant and loud in all the ways he wasn't. Her fashion brand, Amaka Label, had gone viral the previous year when a Nollywood star wore one of her dresses to the AMVCAs. From then, orders flowed in non-stop, and her showroom in Lekki Phase 1 became a fashion pilgrimage site. They met 4 years earlier at a tech exhibition in Victoria Island. Amaka had been styling models for a runway show nearby when a friend dragged her into the tech hall, insisting she had to meet this fine tech bro who actually speaks in full sentences. When she walked up to Tunde's stand, he was explaining artificial intelligence to a group of students. He noticed her before she said a word. She had on a black jumpsuit, gold hoops, and a confidence that made him forget his rehearsed pitch. She teased him for being too serious for someone this fine, and he replied that he was only serious because she looked like a distraction. It was an instant spark, the kind that doesn't wait for logic.
2 months later, they were inseparable. By the following year, he proposed in Zanzibar under a candlelit canopy on the beach. It was the kind of proposal people rewatch on Instagram Reels and whisper about in salons. Amaka's followers doubled. Tund became the model of the ideal husband online, handsome, loyal, prayerful, and successful. In reality, their marriage started strong. They laughed a lot, cooked together, fought sometimes but always made up before bed. Their home in Orchid Road was filled with laughter and love, or at least, the memory of it. Slowly, like an unnoticed leak, something began to shift. Tund got busier, more meetings, more calls at odd hours. Sometimes Amaka would wake up at 2 a.m. and find him on his laptop, face illuminated by the screen glow. "Work never finishes, babe," he'd say with a tired smile. She would nod, trying not to sound needy. But somewhere deep inside, she felt that fragile ache that comes when love starts to feel like routine. Her friend Tiwa noticed it first. Tiwa had been Amaka's best friend since their university days at Unilag, bold, funny, the kind of friend who could drag you out of bed to dance after heartbreak. But she had a sharp tongue and a nose for drama. She often joked that Tund was too calm to be trusted. Amaka would roll her eyes, laughing it off. Still, Tiwa's comments sometimes lingered longer than they should. The tension built quietly. One Friday night, Amaka hosted a small dinner at their house. The guest list was tight, close friends, a few influencers, and some of Tund's colleagues. Among them was Anita, Tund's personal assistant. She was polite, soft-spoken, maybe in her mid-20s. Amaka barely noticed her until Tiwa leaned in, whispering, "That girl's too comfortable around your man." Amaka followed her gaze. Anita was laughing at something Tund said, hand lightly touching his arm. It was harmless, really. Tund was friendly with everyone, and Anita had always been respectful. But still, Amaka's smile froze for a second. That tiny whisper of suspicion, planted in fertile ground, began to grow roots. Later that night, after everyone left, she sat on the couch scrolling through Instagram while Tund washed the dishes, something he liked to do to unwind. "That your PA," she said casually, not looking up from her phone. "She's really close to you." Tund chuckled. "Anita? She's been my assistant for 2 years. She knows my whole schedule better than I do. You should actually thank her, she keeps me sane." Amaka hummed. "I'm just saying. Tiwa thinks she acts a bit too familiar." Tund dried his hands, turned to her, and sighed. "Amaka, you know Tiwa lives for drama. Don't let her plant walla where there isn't any. You trust me, right?" Amaka smiled, forcing herself to nod. Of course. But her mind replayed the image of Anita's hand on his arm like a looping video she couldn't pause. The next few weeks blurred in work and events. Amaka had a big fashion showcase coming up, and Tund was preparing for a presentation that could expand CodeHub into Ghana. Their schedules rarely aligned. When they did, it was often late at night, both too tired to talk beyond surface level. She started noticing small things, like how Tund smiled at his phone before locking it, or how he took calls outside when Anita's name appeared. She told herself not to overthink it, but the insecurity had a way of seeping through even the prettiest makeup. One rainy Thursday evening, she sat in her studio waiting for Tiwa, who arrived an hour late carrying 2 cups of iced coffee. "Babe, just day oh," Tiwa began, kicking off her heels. "You won't believe who I saw today." "Who?" "Your husband and that Anita girl. At Cafe 1. They were laughing like lovebirds." Amaka's chest tightened. Maybe they were discussing work. Tiwa scoffed. "Work? In that cozy corner seat? My dear, open your eyes. These men will embarrass you if you let them." Amaka laughed awkwardly, but her heart wasn't in it. Tiwa's words echoed louder than her own logic. That night, as she lay beside Tund, she watched him sleep, his face calm and unbothered. She wanted to believe him. But her mind replayed Tiwa's voice, that sharp whisper dripping with conviction. The next morning, she decided to surprise him at work. She baked banana bread, his favorite, and drove down to the office unannounced. When she arrived, the receptionist greeted her with a smile and offered to call him. "Oh, he just stepped out for a meeting," the woman said. "He should be back soon." Amaka sat in the lounge, waiting. 20 minutes later, Anita walked in, holding 2 takeaway coffee cups. She froze for half a second when she saw Amaka, then smiled. "Good morning, Ma." "Morning, Anita," Amaka replied, forcing a polite smile. "You just came from a meeting with my husband?" "Yes, Ma. We were meeting with the investors at Eco Hotel." "Oh, okay." Anita placed the coffee on Tund's desk, nodded respectfully, and left. Everything about her demeanor was professional, but Amaka's gut refused to settle. When Tund returned, she was still there. "Surprise," she said, handing him the banana bread. He smiled, kissed her cheek. "You didn't have to, babe." She studied him. "How was the meeting?" "Good. Stressful, but good." She wanted to ask more, but something stopped her. She didn't want to sound paranoid. Instead, she forced a smile. "Eat before it gets cold." Later that night, she told Tiwa about it. Tiwa laughed. "You see? They're already comfortable enough to move around together. I told you." Amaka bit her lip. "She's his assistant, Tiwa." "Babe, wake up. Assistants don't follow you everywhere unless there's more to it." It was the first time Amaka didn't have an immediate defense for her husband. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more enticing and teachable stories by Joshua Tales.